Hello there. Welcome to Shop Talk, Music Man's Garage. How's it going tonight? Is anybody out there yet? I'm going to hang out for a little bit and find out if anybody shows up before we actually start getting into the content that I'm wanting to talk about tonight. So I just wanted to know if anybody was there. If you are, um, tell me where you're from and what is your current car that you drive, and or your dream car. What is your current dream car? We are going to talk about this week. I really want to talk a lot about Corvettes. So I'm just going to hang out for a little while and see if anybody shows up. I have been sitting here for a while trying to figure out how to do some of this stuff because it is crazy to learn. And so anyway, hopefully I figure it out eventually so that whenever I go live, you guys will know what's going on. You'll understand what I'm talking about, and I can maybe learn to share my screen with you. I think I shared my screen like the first time I ever went live before. And we walked through how to find a Camaro. There was only, I don't know, what, 9 left when I did that. It's probably a whole lot less now. So coming into summer and everybody's wanting to go grab a sports car. There's not any brand new 24s left, but hey, if you're looking for a 6-cylinder, there's several left. So you can find them, look for them and find them. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I'm looking forward to chatting with you. And I wanted to just hang out a little bit longer and find out if people are going to show up. And when you show up, hit me up with a comment, throw me a comment where you're from, and let's hang out together. So again, if you don't know, I'm a beginner at this. I've said this before in my other lives. I'm brand new at doing this. I've started my YouTube channel about 7 months ago, and I decided to start going live because I think it's cool to just have a couple people around. We can hang out and talk about car stuff. And so if you're on here, throw me a message on where you're from and possibly what car you have. And it doesn't matter to me if you're a Chevy guy or a Ford guy, or if you like Dodge. It doesn't matter to me. This is Music Man's Garage. If it's cool and it's a car or motorcycle. I told somebody last week at Cars and Coffee, if it's in your garage and it's cool, I probably like it. We can talk about it. Out of the blue, he decides to start telling me about his lawnmower. I'm like, dude, you're missing it. It's not the lawnmower that that I'm talking about. I'm talking about cars and trucks and motorcycles. So anyway, so I guess I'll go ahead and start. We are about 5 minutes in. I think I might have been a minute late getting started. Last week, I realized at some point that my audio wasn't that good, which that really bothers me. I want everything to be perfect at all times. And unfortunately, I'm not perfect. Like I said, I'm an old man trying to learn how to do this and have fun. So, anyway, just thought I would slap up a different view there for you. And if worst case scenario, if both of my cameras decide they don't want to work, I got a third backup, which I really don't want to use, but I will if I have to. So, anyway, like I said, let's go ahead and get started. A little bit of fun there for you. Like I said, Music Man. Hey, Music Man likes music and likes to get uh, music makes you happy, or it can make you sad. Anyway, we won't go into that. But so this week I wanted to talk about Corvettes. Um, as you know, if you don't know, maybe you don't know, you're finding out here. That's cool. Um, I have a Camaro and I really want a Corvette. If you watch my channel, you'll know that a couple weeks ago I went for a test drive in a C7 manual transmission. And then a few days later, a couple days later, I went to Ohio to Bud Chevrolet. They have a huge Corvette room at Bud Chevrolet in St. Mary's, Ohio. And I went over there and drove a C6 convertible automatic. So I want a Corvette really bad, but I am struggling with whether or not I want a automatic or a manual transmission. I in my mind I really want a manual transmission a lot. Like that is the car that I want. A C7 manual because you can't get a manual in a C8. So a C7 manual, what I really want is a Z06, and I know there are several out there for sale, but I'm not currently prepared to buy one right now because I'm buying my Camaro and I have other responsibilities. So I'm holding out for the right car, but I'm still continuing to go test drive other cars. And so I want to get an idea what I think about the manual or automatic, like I've said before, I am a truck driver and I have to shift all night every day going to Chicago and back in the semi. So on the weekend, I kind of thought, well, I think I'm just going to stick with an automatic. And that's what my mindset was when I bought my Camaro. So the thing is, when I bought the Camaro, I also wanted the 1LE and I got that. So anyway, I had to have a Camaro in my garage. That was my first and foremost goal. And then I decided to have two Camaros. And then I decided I would rather have one Camaro and one Corvette. So I've been kind of going around driving different Corvettes and checking them out and seeing what they do and if they're gonna be what I want them to be. The thing is, I'm not ready to buy right now, but I still got time to look. I'm looking into it, I'm investigating, and I'm trying to find out what's gonna work for me personally. So that's kind of why I'm doing that. But I wanted to talk about Corvettes because for some reason this week Corvette has just been like jumping off the page at me, and I'm subscribed to GM Authority, and so I get a lot of my news and information from GM Authority. So one of the things that they are have revealed recently is that for the year 2026, they are going to have a different interior. And I have a group of photographs that I would like to share with you if I can figure out how to do that. So if you would be patient with me, I'm going to try to show you the photographs that I have. Um, but we will see if I can get this to work or not. So this is one of the photos. Let's see, shut that off. And they're talking about uh, an extra digital dash over here to the far left. You can't really see it that much in this photo, but they're saying that uh, it's going to be a cluster of three different screens now. Obviously, the infotainment center over here on the right, it'll have all your digital, your phone and your navigation and things of that nature. And of course, in the middle, it will be um, your speedometer, tachometer, things like that, what gear you're in, so on and so forth. And then over here is going to be another dash that's going to show your water temperature, your transmission, things of that nature, to let you know what you have going on in the car. So then, um, they have moved the. Let's see. They have moved the buttons that go down the center like that. That rail that goes down between the passenger and the driver. They had all the climate control buttons there before, but this new one is going to it's going to show right in here where those buttons are instead of being on this rail right here, which is pretty cool. And then they put a hole in it so your passenger can hold on for dear life, according to what they said. And that's a little bit different view right there of that. Um, and yeah, so that's the normal infotainment center here. And just another close up of it. And this is the other gauge over to the far left. And it's going to show your water temperature, your transmission temperature, things of that nature. I don't have the list in front of me as to actually what it's going to show, but that just gives us an idea what it might look like, which is pretty cool and it different. Obviously, these photographs are not very in depth. You can see the way they have this fuzzed out. There's an actual person in there. You can see his blue jean, his knee right there. Anyway, so it's just kind of a thing to give you an idea what it might look like. There's the overall view, and I just wanted to show that to you and share that with you. Let's see if I can get my. That's not the one. Let's see, that's not coming in either. So anyway, I don't know what's going on here with that. Again, we're learning as we go. There we go. So, yeah, I just wanted to show those to you and give you an idea what we're looking at, and then one of the other things that I wanted to tell you about was they have released the new colors. They're going to add 2 colors to 2026, which is pretty exciting. And the new one of the new colors is Blade Silver Metallic. I'm not sure why they think they have to have so many silvers and things of that nature, but they sure do. And here's a picture of it. They have grays and silvers and hypersonic gray, and I mean they got rid of hypersonic, but you know what I mean. It's like they got several different versions of grays and silvers, but that is supposed to be the new one of the new colors for 26 is Blade Silver Metallic. And then this color is probably one of my favorites, and I've actually I actually like this color, and it is Roswell Green Metallic. Now, I've heard other people talking about this car kind of looks like the Synergy Green Camaro. Well, I disagree with that. Sorry, but I disagree with that. I think that this is a lot more high gloss finish than the Synergy Green. Now, don't misunderstand me. I love the Synergy Green Camaro, and I hope to have one someday. I came real close to actually purchasing one this last winter with the help of my friend Morgan. He is actually the president of the Northeastern Ohio Camaro Club, and he helped me find a Synergy Green Camaro, and then I ended up deciding not to buy it because my next car is going to be a Corvette. So anyway, that is Roswell Green Metallic. I'm sorry, but I personally don't think that it looks like the Synergy Green, but that's what everybody else seems to be talking about. So let's see if I can get back to um, let's see if we can get rid of this stuff and get rid of it, and we'll go back to you get to see me again. How about that? Anyway, so yeah, those are the things that I wanted to talk about tonight. Was the new interior and the two new colors of the Corvette, which is pretty cool. And then I wanted to talk briefly about get your opinion on what you think about the C8 Corvette never having the possibility of having a manual transmission. Are you a diehard? Do you say either I get a car with the manual transmission or I don't get one? Or are you still pretty open minded about the mid engine? Or what are your thoughts on the mid engine? I love the mid engine. I've driven one. Um, and I've also driven, the C7. So I like them both. I know they're two totally different platforms. They drive different. And there's actually a little bit of curiosity in my brain and in my I want to know what it's like to drive an E-Ray. I want to know what it's like to drive an E-Ray. Like they say that having a car that's rear wheel drive is just phenomenal. And I know it is because I have a rear wheel drive sports car. It's amazing. Like, putting your foot in it from the start, it is a blast. And, but what about a car that's all wheel drive, like the E-Ray? What do you think about that? Like, do you say I would never have that just because it's got, an electric motor in the front? Or are you curious like me? I'm curious. I would love to know what that car, how it performs. Am I am I the kind of guy that goes to the track every weekend? No. Do I go to the track once or twice a year? Maybe. But is it worth the E-Ray is something that you can use year round because it's got front wheel drive in it. So one of the things that holds me back is in driving in inclement weather is all rear wheel drive. Obviously, I don't think I want to buy a Corvette and then just drive it in the snow all the time. But with me living in the north, Midwest, you know, it's possible that I could. I saw a guy on social media that's a farmer. He drives a Corvette on his farm. That would probably drive me crazy. But anyway, so I just wanted to talk about those things with everybody, and kind of get an idea what you think about it, and like uh, just throw around those ideas. So uh, I don't know if anyone's there. If you're there, slap a comment up so I can know that you're here. Tell me where you're from and what kind of car you drive. I have a friend that does this bi-weekly, but he's been doing it 7 years. He's been on YouTube for 7 years. And of course, he's got a lot of people that watch, a lot of people that interact, send questions and things of that nature. I'm a beginner. I don't have that yet, but I'm working on getting there to that. And so, like, I appreciate everyone being patient with me and stopping into Music Man's Garage and hanging out with me and talking cars and shop talk. So, I'm not a mechanic. I'm not a guy that claims to know everything. I don't. But I do know that cars excite me. I like cars. I worked my tail off my whole life to get a nice car, and I enjoy the Camaro that I've been blessed to have. And if you haven't yet, check out my videos on my Camaro, and check out the video that I did a couple weeks ago where I took a Mustang GT 5.0 for a ride, manual. I love that car. If money wasn't an object, that car would be in my garage. I loved it. Grabber blue, beautiful car. Obviously, it needed a couple different things on it. Like, I would have changed probably the rims to black, and probably I would have, well, for sure, I would have had the windows tinted. But for the most part, I like all cars. This show and this channel is not car specific. I've said that before. I'll say it again. I'll always say it. There was a time in my life I wanted a Dodge Challenger Hellcat, you know, and I wanted one really bad, and I decided at one point not to get one just because after they released the Challenger, they started putting the Hellcat motor in the Durango, the Charger, and just about anything they make. They started putting the Hellcat motor in all of their cars, all their different platforms, and I was like, you know what, dude? I want a Hellcat, but I wanted it in the Challenger platform because when I was a kid, in high school, the Challenger was a sought after car, just like the Camaro and the Mustang and everything else. And it's like, it just seems like the Challenger, even over the Charger, for me, is more, uh, you know, true muscle car than anything. And when you put a 700 horsepower motor in a car, and then you decide you want to start putting it in everything you make, I don't see the point in that. I don't understand. But anyway, I never ended up buying one. I did take a Challenger Hellcat for a ride once and wasn't that impressed, but then again, the dealership they wouldn't let me have the red key. And I'm like, what? I'm, I want to buy a friggin' $60,000 car and you won't let me have the red key? I don't get that. So anyway, I ended up not buying it anyway. But so the other thing that I wanted to show you real quick is if you're in the Midwest, see if I can. I don't know if I can do this again or not. Let's see if we can try it. Let's see. I want to do this, not that. Not that. Let's see. So let's see if we can pull this back up. And last photo I have here is advertising this Saturday in St. Mary's, Ohio, at a place called Bud's Chevrolet. They're having their Corvette cruise in. Now I need to make sure you understand Bud's Chevrolet does not sponsor me at this point. I'm not saying that they won't at some point, but right now they don't sponsor me. I went to this show last year and I drove my 24 2SS Collector's Edition Panther over there, and there was maybe 10 Camaros there, and then the rest were Corvettes, and there was probably 200 Corvettes on the lot, and it was amazing. It was a little windy, and it was a little chilly, so a lot of people didn't stay very long, but this year it looks like it's supposed to be in the low to mid 70s and sunny, and Music Man will be there with bells on and checking out all the Corvettes and hanging out with the upper echelon, I call it. A blue collar guy like me driving in my Camaro in there to hang out with people that have a lot more expensive cars than I do, but that's okay. I wanted to let you know that this is going on. Now, today is Tuesday, May the 6th. This is happening on Saturday, May the 10th, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So if you have a chance, if you live in anywhere in Ohio, if you live in Indiana, Northern Kentucky, you need to find your way to Bud Chevrolet. See what I did there? It even kind of rhymes. How about that? I'm just being crazy now, but yeah, so I wanted to let you guys know that those are the things for some reason, Corvette has just been really like on my mind a lot lately. I never stop looking at cars. I'm gonna continue to always look at cars and trucks and go, hang out and look at them and check them out and test drive them. So I decided a couple weeks ago probably that I was going to only start doing like a half-hour show on Shop Talk until I start to get more people that interact and people to hopefully show up. And but after this show has been aired live, it will be published to my channel. So feel free to, even if you didn't watch it live, feel free to leave a comment as to where you are and what you drive and what you wished you drove. I have a lot of friends on Instagram that have Mustangs and Challengers and Chargers and Corvettes, and Camaros, and I like them all. So I wanted to take a minute and thank you for checking out my channel. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. And I want you to know also that I recently got a sponsor. I think I mentioned that before in maybe a couple of my videos. Maybe not, I don't know. But I've recently acquired my first sponsor for Music Man's Garage. I'm pretty excited about that. If you're looking for show plaques, or um, he makes a small plaque that goes on top of your fuse box and under your hood, deadbranddesigns.com. You check him out. And also, the software that I use to stream live is by Ecamm Live. And I think it's a pretty easy platform to learn how to use. However, I am still in the learning process of learning how to use it. So sometimes you might find that I just like my camera right there, it froze up. I don't have any idea why my camera froze up. No reason at all. I'm gonna look into that and find that out. And hopefully my audio is better this week. I know last week I struggled with audio. If I have to, I'll send Ecamm Live a message and say, hey, look, you guys got to help me with this and figure out why. Because you actually have the ability to have more than one view in your studio. And I just recently took a week off of work and spent, um, the whole week trying to upgrade my studio and make it better. And I will never stop doing that. I'll constantly be trying to work and make it better. But anyway, I know blah blah blah. For some reason, I feel like once I go live, I feel like I'm always supposed to talk. Even though nobody's leaving a comment or no one's asking a question, I just feel like if I don't talk, you guys are going to get really bored. So I decided to only make this a half hour until I start getting people to interact with me. And we have gone over the half hour. So I just wanted to tell you again that I appreciate you hanging out with me at Shop Talk on Music Man's Garage. And we will see you next week at 7 p.m. Eastern on Shop Talk. Thanks for hanging out with me and tuning in.